Looking good, baby.
Okay. Let's have a peace sign for the Peace and Love Network. Yay.
Oh, good.
I love it. Good.
So I can either have you sit here if you want, or sit in the seat in control of.
Oh, is it okay if I stay
Yeah,
there?
you
Okay.
can. There's a chair. You can sit here. You can move it if you
How many channels have you got in the go here?
A lot.
A lot?
We have over 550 affiliates around the world.
Huh? Wow.
So this was me and you the last time we met.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were in the art gallery down in Soho with your wife.
Yeah.
I was working for Access Hollywood at the time.
Yeah, cool.
Do you mind a quick picture before we start?
No, let's do phase 2.
Okay.
Are you going to take it?
Yes, sir. Real quickie. Thank you, Ringo.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks,
let's do
man.
this.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Yes. I'll turn this. So, ready when you are. Ready?
Where do you want me looking at you?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'll get used to the camera, you know.
Camera loves you.
It does.
You know, you have so many things going on. Let's start with the tour, which you're currently doing.
Yeah.
Now, how's it been going so far?
So far, it's great. You know, and it's also the only opportunity I get of playing live. I love to play live, and I've got a great band, the All Stars. You know, it's been so great that this is the longest ever I've kept an all-star band together. Usually I do a couple of gigs and, you know, a couple of maybe summer here or in Europe and then, you know, maybe Australia, whatever. And then I break it up and start it all over again. But this one, I have so much fun and everybody gets on well, so we all like a band. A lot of love together, you know.
When did you kind of realize that this lineup would stay around longer than kind of the usual lineups?
When they wouldn't let me fire them. It just, you know, you can't plan that. And it was just that the first year was great, and then we were offered, you know, tours the next year. You know, I just said, well, they've offered me October. Okay, boss. And here we come, you know. And so it just went on like that. There was no deep plan. And, you know, everybody supports it. You know, so it's good for me.
And I know this last year was the first time you guys wrote a song together, too. What was that like?
Well, you know, I've tried since 1989 to get all the All-Stars and myself, of course, together and write and record a song. It's never worked. And last year we were just doing a sound check and we'd jam. You know, we're all musicians, we like to jam. And Greg Rowley actually started it. He got like some riff going on the piano, then Lukather and Todd Rune. Everybody started joining in, you know, we started playing. And I thought, well, I've got to force the issue here. So we have this like sort of track. And we were in Biloxi, and I called everybody to my room. Come on down, we're going to write this song. I had to get bossy. And they came down, and Todd had some, Richard Page, I had some verses, and so that's how it happened. And then I was making a record at the time, which is good. Yes. It'll teach me not to turn my phone off. Okay. So we're in Biloxi. I called everybody down to, you know, let's write it, which we did. Everyone was around. And then I was making a record at home. I make up the last 5 records I've made in the guest house in LA. And everybody came down and we made a track. It was great. Bit long-winded, but great.
You know, you performed literally for most of your life. How is performing now different, or is it different than?
Not performing. I mean, of course, if you're thinking of the Beatles, the audiences were a lot bigger, but it's still the same. I mean, I started in clubs, and I love to play. That's why I'm here, is because I love to play. And I got into several good bands, and of course ended up in the best band in the world. And but we're all players. Paul's still out there. You know what I mean? That's where we come from. We're not there to be famous. We're there to play. And by the way, we got well known.
Physically, what's it like? Because you tour most of the year, every year.
It looks like that. It looks like I do. But I do it differently now. And I've just started. I'm doing 21 gigs in June. And then I'm having a summer off. And then I'm going to do another 21 gigs in October. So we're doing America now. And then October we're doing Japan, Australia, way out there.
Physically, how do you keep up to, be able to perform so much?
Well, I keep fit. I watch my diet, and I go to the gym, and if I'm in LA, I have a trainer. So anywhere we go, I can work out, get myself together, and I've got this thing at the end of every show. I do jumping jacks, so I got to stay fit for that. It's just part of my life now. It's not like something I'm doing just for the tour. I mean, I love to feel good, and I feel fit, and I'm a vegetarian, so I watch what I eat, and just doing the best I can for my body.
I know you have your birthday coming up.
July the 7th, yes.
Your birthday is almost, it feels like a national holiday of peace and love. Talk about what we can expect this year and why it's kind of important for you to deliver that message to us.
Well, it started actually, we were in New York. I was doing interviews for the tour and that, and it was my birthday, and somebody said, well, what would you like for your birthday? And out of the blue, I thought, what would be great if everybody at noon on the 7th of July went peace and love. And that's how it started. And we were doing it in the street in Chicago, and we've done it in Germany, and we've done it in L.A. several times now. But I just realized doing it in L.A. at noon, most of Europe is asleep. So I'm trying this year to get the word out earlier. So if anybody picks this up, if they could tell their viewers that at noon, wherever you are on the bus, down the mine, wherever, you could just go peace and love. That would be great. That would be a great gift to me.
Have you ever thought of it maybe becoming like an official holiday, or like on June 7th, like peace and love?
I'd love it to. What, the Peace and Love Day? Man, I'm all for that, peace and love. Yeah, great.
Where did kind of, it's great to spread that message and to kind of have that optimistic attitude. Did that come from kind of your childhood, like from your parents?
No, it came from the 60s and medication. It was a whole change of atmosphere through the 60s, and we like to call it flower power, and we like to thank Timothy Leary, and there's a lot goes into it, and substances, of course, were involved at that time. They're not involved anymore, but at that time. And it was peace and love. We were trying to spread peace and love then, and the Beatles wrote many songs, peace and love songs. And so we were all involved with it. And, I started touring, I just started peace and loving again. And it's, I'm sort of becoming known now, peace and love. Peace and love. So everything builds up gradually, but it is getting bigger, and that's a good thing. I don't think there's anything wrong or bad with peace and love,
Especially when you see stuff like what happened in Florida.
How crazy is that?
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I can talk about it till the cows come home, but it won't change anything. It's like, it's the mindset of those people that for some reason they feel that if they shoot a lot of people, they'll probably go to heaven, their heaven, and everybody keeps talking about those virgins waiting for them. I don't think that's true myself. So no, I think it's. I don't understand it really. I don't understand that mindset that you could decide to injure and kill a lot of innocent people. You know, you can. I don't. You know, I'm really not a supporter of wars either, but you can understand there's two sides and they're having to go at each other. But this is so random. It's how far out is that?
And does it make you want to spread the message of peace and love even more? Because I mean, even in the last year in the U.S., we've seen so many deadly shootings.
Yeah, but they're not all related to, as this guy is, they're saying ISIS. Students have brain damage and go and kill other students. It seems like it's getting more and more. I don't know if that's true, but maybe they're just reporting it now. There's coverage, so much coverage, but it's a difficult situation because it just happens, and some guy or so far it's always some guy, isn't it? Not some girl. Gets up in the morning and maybe he is mad, maybe he's angry. We don't know. I don't know, and decides to cause a lot of hurt. It's sad. It's sad. Those people are sad. I feel it's a sad situation more than anything else. That is part of somebody's life.
I wanted to ask you too. What's it like when you watch one of your older performances or older music videos? Do you ever watch any of your past footage or?
Well, I see it. I mean, I don't, it's Tuesday, let me look at myself from 1966. I don't do that. It's good. I mean, I love those boys. They were my brothers. I'm an only child. Suddenly I got three brothers, and we went through that brotherly thing I thought. There were some downs, but there was so much up. But overall, the music is what was important. And it didn't matter how we were fighting amongst ourselves. After the count-in, 2, 3, 4, everybody gave their best. It was never like, yeah. So I do think about it, and I miss John and George as my brothers. They went, and one in a really bad way, and one with an illness. I mean, which is still a bad way, but not as violent, I don't think, as the guy standing outside John's apartment block. Who knew?
Are you working on new music now?
I am. I'm in the middle of making a record. As I said, I do them at home. I've got about 8 songs. I live in LA. I love LA because there's a lot of writers I can just call up. I just did one with Van Dyke Parks. He's one of my phone calls, and Richard Marx, Dave Stewart, Glenn Ballard. I mean, it's so great, and everyone can play, and it's very, in a way, down home. I'd like to say garage, but we're not in the garage. And this little cottage we have, in the bedroom is 2 kits of drums and an amplifier, and the computer and Pro Tools are in the living room, and that's it. And we get on with it. We have a lot of fun.
What music do you listen to now regularly? Like, do you like to use Spotify and?
I don't stream. I like to go to iTunes, and I sort of search through iTunes and like to buy. So I'm giving something back. Really, I feel it's I think, though we are streaming now, the Beatles are streaming. It happened on Christmas Eve last year, and we've streamed 1 billion tracks, far out. But I think for newer bands, it's not the best situation, and we're hoping that will change. Where if you do download a track on iTunes, at least somebody gets something, And playing it's back when we would tour to sell records. Now there's no record sales, so you tour because that's where the revenue is.
Who are some of your favorites? Are there any of
Well, I still go back. I mean, Lightning Hopkins, Otis Redding, doesn't matter, Aretha. I can't sit here and say, oh, my favorites, because there's so many, and it depends on the day. Yusef Lateef, okay. And so it's such a, my stepfather taught me a great lesson that, I'd be playing as an early teenager stuff, and he'd say, oh, what do you listen to, son? Have you heard this? That's how he did it. It was so beautiful. And he'd be playing Sarah Vaughan or Billy Daniels, Billy Eckstein, Glenn Miller. So I got such a rounded musical education. And it was something I put to use with my kids who would be playing whatever they're playing. I said, well, have you heard Ray Charles? Or have you heard Otis or whatever, whoever it was. And such a beautiful way. It's such a great memory for me that he did it in such kindness that it rubbed off, and I tried to be that kind to my children.
Yeah,
Not you putting that rubbish on again. It was never like that in our house.
it's good because you can discover music from them, but they obviously
Oh yeah,
learn about
they
it.
send me music. Have you heard this, Dad? Have you heard that? And and as I said, I do search the computer, and I like certain bands. I've come to that stage, though. I don't need an album, though I make albums, though we call them CDs now. 10, 12 tracks. I like to pick the 2, 3 at the most I like and download them. So, there's no answer to that question, really, as far as I'm concerned. I am a mixed bag.
You've done a lot of different things in your career. Are there other things you have on a list that you want to do, or?
There's not a lot I want to do. I like to paint, and I sell my computer art on the tour. It all goes to the Lotus Foundation, a charity Barbara and I started. And it's like everything besides hitting them goes to our charity. So, I've got to deal with the drumstick guy. My end goes to the charity. So you're just doing the best you can, really. But if I'm playing the gig, I need a few bucks. I got shoes to buy.
Was there anything else you wanted to add or talk about specifically?
No, you were great and so quick. But mainly, we're here on the 7th of July at noon, wherever you are in the world. Just go peace and love. And for that, God bless you and thank you.
You might actually saying something like that directly in the camera too.
Wasn't I?
Oh, you were looking at me, but I think
No,
it'd be
I
nice
wasn't.
to get it.
I haven't looked at you once.
Say the date. Say July 7, noon.
What?
Say the date. When you
Oh.
look in the camera, say the
'Cause I
date.
think it'd be
July
nice.
7.
So for my birthday, the greatest gift you could give me on the 7th of July at noon, at 12 o'clock, if you could just go peace and love, that would fill my heart. So I thank you. So if you want to send Ringo a gift, peace and love, noon on the 7th of July. Thank you.
Perfect.
Wait, one more. Sorry.
Yeah.
Noon wherever you are.
Okay.
Your time.
Okay.
Oh, noon your time. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because this will go out
Yeah.
internationally.
Okay, let's do that again. What would be great, wherever you are in the world, and wherever you are, if you're on a bus, if you're down a mine, if you're in an office, wherever on the street, wherever you are at noon on the 7th of July, if you could just go peace and love, that would be great. Peace and love.
Perfect.
How did that look?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You mind if we take a selfie?
No, come on. Selfies are good.
Selfies are good. Do you have a side that you prefer?
No,
Okay.
maybe this side.
Silly.
Oh, yeah. You got a lot of teeth there, brother.
Awesome.
Thank you.
God bless.
Master.
Thank you so
Great to
much.
see you.
So happy you guys are
Anyway,
here.
brother, do me a big favor. Get it out there,
Yes, we
every damn
will.
country.
We will get it out, I think today.
Awesome.
You know.
Because it's good that we have time